This is the Kandao Qoocam Ego 3D camera. We haven't seen a stereoscopic, regular 3D camera in about 9 years, maybe 10 years on the market. How good is the video on this camera? It's got 2 lenses. They are a little bit more than maybe 65 millimeters apart, so it's a little bit more than the interpupillar distance of the human eye. And so you've got 3,840 pixels by 1080 pixels. And for photographs, you have 8,000 by 3,000. The video is MPEG-4, so almost anybody can deal with that kind of video if you have pretty much any kind of video editor, or you can just upload it to YouTube and it'll be anaglyph or VR capable, and you can upload it to Facebook. The video is really good. It's on par with this Sony HDR TD10 that I have. And this camcorder came out at a price of $1,500 when it first came out. I didn't pay $1,500 for it, but I paid a lot more than I paid for the Qoocam. So that's pretty good. Do you want to hold something like that in your pocket? Or would you like to hold something like this? I think I'll stick with this.
What? I have a big ego.
Actually, if I hadn't bought the Sony camera, I would definitely consider buying another one of these so I can have a multi 3D camera setup. I mean, I've got a multi 3D setup. I could have that there, I could have this one over to the side and have 2 different shots I could cut between the 2. Now, if you live in a place like I do, Florida, where it gets really hot, you may have the camera say that it's overheating, and I had that happen. But what I can suggest is you pull out the battery, and then you can use an external USB battery pack, a battery bank, and just get a USB, or use the one provided, USB-A to USB-C, plug it into the camera, and it'll actually run without the battery in it. So you'll have an empty shell in there, so it'll keep the camera a lot cooler. You can also pull this battery door off. Now, one thing I need to point out is if you're transferring files or charging the battery or anything like that, the battery may slide out. I don't know if I can get it to do it now, but sometimes it does. And if you don't push it in correctly. And so if you're transferring files, you may corrupt your memory card and you might lose those video files. That would be pretty sad. So make sure your battery's plugged in there really nice and tight. As for the memory card, they suggest a U3. I have a U1 in there. It's pretty speedy and it works just fine. I did test a U3 that was from my Views XR camera and it worked fine. You have a shutter button up on top. You've got your power button here that's also a mode button. It'll switch between the camera and the video. You have a playback button here, and you've got up and down buttons to go through your media, and I would suppose that's probably volume as well. And then you have a touch screen back here where you can touch the corner here and get a little bar on the side where you can click different things there, kind of like a GoPro. You've got a Q button, which you can assign as a quick menu button. And of course, you've got your battery door with the battery, and you've got your USB-C plug, and you've got your memory card slot there. And it comes with a viewer. The viewer is magnetic and sticks to the back of your camera like that so that you can instantly view 3D pictures or video. They always show the people looking up like this, like it's a periscope or something.
Down periscope.
But what I would suggest is you can actually shoot video and photos live while looking at them in 3D live, just like that. So what I would do is I would check my focus, and then I would hit it right there, you know, change the focus, look at it like that and make sure, and you can just do your video and stuff like that. And if you're, like I said, in Florida, here it's very bright and you can't see the screen all the time. Now you've got an EVF, an electric viewfinder, so to speak. It's not really electric, it's mirrors. Anyway, there you go. It's got a lot of function to it. You can instantly watch stuff or watch it live. There you go. pretty good functionality out of that. You also get this cloth bag to put your camera and your viewer in there, and you get a screen wipe. You get a USB A to C plug for it. You also get a strap that will attach right there, but I don't like to put straps on my cameras, so I don't have that on there. And you get a selfie mirror. The selfie mirror snaps right on the front of the camera. That way when you're looking at the camera to do a selfie, you can align yourself in that mirror. I would recommend a selfie stick so that you can keep the camera about 3 feet away from your face. Now be aware, if you buy this camera just to put videos on YouTube, it may hurt people's eyes or it may give them headaches if they're just using the anaglyph version of YouTube instead of viewing it through Google Cardboard or through a VR headset. So just be aware that you may give people headaches if you just go right from the camera. What I like to do is put it into a stereoscopic 3D video editor, and I reduce the disparity on the horizontal and then sometimes on the vertical. Now these cameras do have a little vertical misalignment, I guess you could say. I'm not quite sure what it is, but it's just a little bit off. I've seen some videos where they're very off. It may have been an early firmware, and I saw one where it was just a tiny bit off, and sometimes it was perfect. Now my camera falls in between the two, where it's just a little bit more than that tiny bit off, and it never seems to be perfect, but I don't care because I put it into Vegas Pro and I fixed that, so it doesn't matter to me. Now I did take the footage straight from the camera and view it in VR, and then I also took that same video and aligned it vertically and squished it up a little horizontally so that it would have less disparity, and it looked fantastic. Once I aligned it, it did make a big difference in VR. So I would definitely suggest putting it into a video editor and doing that. Now on my unit, there's also this weird thing with the audio where it sounds like it's trying to do a wind cut or some kind of thing like that, or maybe a noise gate, because it kind of like clips the audio sometimes. Hopefully you can hear in the audio what I'm talking about. I'm not sure if it's clipping my voice or not until I get in there and review it. You see all these birds that are flying around right now. I don't know. This happens every once in a while. Sometimes the birds will get really close to the ground. It's pretty funny. They'll just fly in circles. I don't know what's up with that, or maybe it can be fixed with firmware, but anyway, it happens on mine. It sounded fine on somebody else's video, but my videos have that weird problem. Unfortunately, there's a drawback to this camera being a pocket camera. It's sort of like the Sony Bloggie. If you hold it handheld, you'll have micro jitters in there. I mean, it will look very smooth. Like, I'll try to be really still with this, but I'll show you the video that comes out of it, and I bet that there will be little jitters in it. And as you can see, I'm being pretty still, and it looks like it's nice in the viewfinder. See if I can get a good shot of that. It looks like it's a nice, smooth pan, but we'll take a look at that video. Like, I'll try to be really still with this, but I'll show you the video that comes out of it, and I bet that there will be little jitters in it. And as you can see, I'm being pretty still, and it looks like it's nice in the viewfinder. See if I can get a good shot of that. It looks like it's a nice, smooth pan. I would definitely suggest getting a cell phone gimbal or a tripod or a selfie stick at the very least. It does have a 1/4 inch screw hole there so that it can mount on tripods and other things like that. A cell phone gimbal should have like a clamp thing, so it should work with this as well. I did put it on my big gimbal on top of another camera because this is too light. My gimbal would be like that. So I mounted a camera and then I mounted this one on top and it worked fine. I got some really nice shots. I think you've probably seen them already on my other YouTube videos where I did the underslung and I went around on the grass. That was a gimbal shot. So anyway, it's nice and smooth. So I'm pretty sure it's not actually a frame loss problem with the camera. I think it is actually micro jitters that you're seeing in the video when you handheld it, hold it. This camera does have manual focus. It does not have autofocus. If you pick something maybe just down from the mountain icon, which is the furthest focus point, then you might get kind of like a fixed lens effect. It's not like a GoPro camera, unfortunately. I kind of would have rather it be kind of a fixed lens or a fixed focus type thing like a GoPro. Then you just kind of point and shoot. But it is what it is. The camera photos are in JPEG, but they are promising a DNG firmware upgrade, so we might be able to get a lossless photo format. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you learned a lot about the Qoocam Ego, and you're now able to make an informed decision whether you want to buy this camera or not. And if you like my videos, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/wheatstonehomes. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.